Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. Welcome to another episode of Rural Heritage TV. Last summer, we visited the Thumb Octagon Barn in Gagetown, Michigan, where we looked at and learned about the unique barn built in 1924 by brothers John and George Monroe for successful local businessman James Purdy. Today, the barn has been fully restored and is the centerpiece of an agricultural museum there. There's more here than we can show in just one episode, so today we'll talk about the barn and some of its unique features, as well as many of the antique tools, implements, and other equipment displayed there. We'll come back early next year with another episode about the museum and show you the many outbuildings on the site, as well as watch a group of children build a timber-framed model in the barn. First, here's Rose Putnam, president of the Friends of the Thumb Octagon Barn, to give us a tour.
Welcome to the Thumb Octagon Barn in Gagetown, Michigan. My name is Rose Putnam, and I am president of the Friends of the Thumb Octagon Barn that own and manage this property.
And we're standing in front of the Thumb Octagon Barn. Can you tell me the dimensions of the barn?
It's an especially large barn. It is 102 feet wide, and it is 70 foot tall to the top of the roof,
And there's a cupola up there.
plus the cupola.
Yeah. And so you said how wide? 120?
102.
102. And that would be from any
Once,
wall to wall.
right,
Because it's basically, it's an octagon, but it's round in a sense.
correct.
And then, let's see, what else do I want to do while we're out here? Um,
It has dormers with windows in the barn, which is unusual. Most barns don't have windows.
no, most barns don't have a lot of what's here.
Yes.
He spared no expense. It's a showpiece.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Purdy was a banker. He had the money. He saw this barn out in Iowa. He got the plans. He brought it back, and he wanted it. He built it.
And it was built by the Monroe brothers and a crew, I'm sure.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they also built the house, I understand. Is that
Yes,
right?
they did. They built the house and the powerhouse and the garage here on the property.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's go inside.
Okay. This is a very unique barn. We have a lot of people that walk in here and they say, wow. I still call it the wow factor because it's so amazing. There are so many different unique things about this barn, including the ventilation system, windows, and the huge loft area.
And so, as I understand it, there weren't any other stories. Hay was just stacked up. Loose hay was put up around us here.
Correct.
On that level. And then it would probably go not much higher than this chute.
Correct.
Close.
Yes.
So there was a lot of open air.
Yes.
Which would have been desirable for keeping the hay dry.
Correct.
And for maintaining ventilation.
Yes. They would bring the hay in through the front door and stop there. And then they would unload the hay and fork it over with the hay forks.
Yeah, you
that
got
are
several.
up there on
Right,
display.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got several. And they would have used, there's a ring in the ground
Yes.
that they used for anchoring the pole.
Yes, that held the wagon in place because horses, of course, were always nervous and excited. And this would hold the wagon in place so the horses wouldn't take off with the wagon. And they would use similar to that, pulleys and rope right there is what they would use then to hook it up to the round hay cars. There's the hay
There's a track system.
track system up there, and the hay car is right here. That would take then the hay with the hay forks and drop it into the loft area. And that is such a unique system. There are doors right at the bottom of the hayloft floor that drop open.
Okay.
And the hay then falls into the manger area along that side of each barn.
Mr. Purdy raised mostly beef, Black Angus, right?
Correct.
Okay, and just a little bit of dairy?
Yes, he had, of course, some milking cows that they would need, and chickens and pigs and the smaller type animals that most farms would have. But his main source for animals were the Black Angus, and that's why he had his scales here in the barns, so that when they went to the livestock market, he would know what the weight was and be sure that he got his equal value that he expected.
Right, right.
And like most barns, there's the ladder system that you go up into the loft, that the workers talked about working in a round barn like this, that it was more difficult than just in a rectangular barn where you go from side to side. This you had to walk all the way around. So there was a lot of extra footwork being done.
Right, and still is.
Yes.
If you're just wandering around up there. Is this level here, this floor added?
Yes.
Okay.
This, we call it our little bridge.
Sure.
That was not there, of course, because with the equipment, it needed to come in and out of the barn.
Right.
But with having the public up into the loft area, now you're able to do that without having to climb the ladders.
Right, right.
The Huron County Technology Center built this barn as a project, and they took it to the state as a competition and won first place.
I bet.
This was built back in 2003. So we're very proud of it, and that is why we have a case that was made and a base, and it's also movable because it's quite heavy.
I see that the caster's on it, yeah.
Yes, very unique piece. When we came out here, the property had been abandoned and it was lost in foreclosure. Then we are surrounded by 962 acres of DNR property. So the DNR wanted the last 80 that was left of the property to bridge together their property. So they came and purchased the property. We came along as a community group to try to save the barn because we heard it was going to be demolished. You have to understand the DNR does not manage historical properties.
Right.
That is not their mission.
Right.
So we were able to work with them and eventually buy 25 acres then. And our first mission was to save the barn because of its horrible condition.
So is that when you put it on the National Registry of Historic Places, or did that come later?
It's not on the National
okay,
Registry,
okay.
It's only on the Michigan
I
Registry.
see, okay.
And that was done by one of the former owners in the late 70s.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that is what saved it from demolition, actually,
Yeah.
was the fact that it was an historical piece of Michigan.
So you guys had to dig that up?
That was easy to find.
Okay, all right. Okay, and I interrupted you. You were about to talk a little bit more about
Well,
the
we
history
came
of this.
out here in 1993, and again, the first mission was to save it. It was in bad condition, and local people were very interested, so we started holding meetings and getting those from the area. Fortunately for us in the Thumb, we do things normally as a group, and we're right on the border. On the edge of this property is Huron County, Tuscola County, and down the road just a few miles is Sanilac County.
Okay.
So we were able to gather all of these people in the Thumb that took ownership and said, this is part of the Thumb, we need to save it. And that's what started happening. We had a fundraiser, we needed to fix the roof. There was a big 12-foot hole on the west part of the barn that was just, and leaks everywhere. And of course, that's the worst thing for a barn to do is have a leak.
Roof that leaks, yeah.
Yes, leaky roof.
Right.
And so that was our first project. And in this picture, you can see what we call a red Band-Aid right here. A local business owner donated those red shingles to us because he had no need for them. We've been very fortunate that we have a lot of support from business owners, not just community members. And that was our first repair. We had to mow the lawn. You can see how tall everything was. The weeds, everything was in disorder.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard to know where to start, but we did start with the barn because that was the most important. And thus, when we first started, we were here to save the Octagon Barn. Then our mission became, what do we do and how do we do this to make it into a community project? And then we started having activities to raise money because, of course, it takes a lot of money to manage this.
Right.
And when that happened...
Once you restore it, your job isn't done.
No.
You need to maintain it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So we spent a lot of time restoring just the 4 original buildings that were left on the property.
And those are the barn. Is there a mill that was
No.
original? Okay, that was added.
The powerhouse for electrical service,
Okay.
the garage, and the Purdy home. Those are the 4 original buildings.
Gotcha.
There was a chicken coop and some other small buildings that were already gone when we came. We did not restore those. Okay, we'll start on this side where Mr. Purdy originally had his cattle.
Okay.
Subsequent owners had horses here.
Okay.
And with that, they had to change the stalls, so it's not all original back here. But it's very rustic and, you know, what a barn would look like.
Yeah.
Very unique. The rafter system. Again, there's a cement foundation that's 4 foot above ground and 4 foot below ground. And this is part of the original part of the barn. And there's also a water trough. This barn had electricity and water in it. And this is the back part of the water trough in the stalls that the workers then could water the animals. There is now a wall right there, but that was not there so that the workers could go back and forth.
Sure.
So these are the stalls now. During our activities, during Fall Family Days and our school tours, we have animals here. And of course, there is the mangers that the hay would be in. And behind that light is the trap door that comes from up in the loft where they would drop the hay. So it was very easy then, once they would open that, to feed the animals here. Most of the barn is original, but we did have to do some restoration on the foundation. Along this section, because there's no eaves on the barn, that the water was taking away the foundation and moving this wall out, it started tipping out. So this whole section was redone. This corn crib that's out here is not original. This was donated to us. They had a much larger corn crib than that originally.
Sure.
But it does show an example for the time period of what a corn crib would look like.
Yeah, that's great.
This was a milk wagon that was restored, that was used in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And even rather than just rural areas, you would see this often in urban areas because they didn't have the cows so close, and pulled by a horse usually. And we were fortunate to be able to have this wooden horse that shows what it may look like when it's coming down the road.
Right.
They did not have dairy cows. We chose to make this area here a dairy exhibition. And so we kind of whitewashed things like most dairies would be whitewashed, showing some of the later generations here of the tank, where they would store the milk until the truck came to get it. And creamers and separators, milk cans, anything that you needed and wanted for the dairy. And another unique piece we have, this is a dog treadmill. We've not seen one of these before. And the story is we used a St. Bernard to walk on the treadmill to churn our butter. And this came from Bad Axe, Michigan.
That is an amazing piece.
Mm-hmm. So we have partners with the ICMPA, the Independent Co-op Milk Producers Association. They help us with all the information that we need to talk about the dairy industry and how cows produce milk and how much water they drink. Just wonderful things like they drink, our milk is 87% water, and a cow drinks maybe 40 to 50 gallons of water per day.
Yeah, I don't think people know that. Yeah,
Yes, that's
amazing.
interesting.
Right.
And we have a special cow here on site, and this is a Michigan Holstein.
Okay.
And I've never heard of one before, but
No,
maybe you
I
can
haven't.
tell me why her name is Erlene and why she's a Michigan cow. Well, Erlene is very special, and she has spots
Okay.
that identifies her as a Michigan
Yes,
cow.
okay.
But she traveled all over Michigan as a teaching tool for MSU Extension, and now she's retired here at the barn. So children and adults alike have the opportunity to milk Erlene. And this is where the stock, the tank begins.
I see.
The water tank.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to use this as a display and talking area. As you can see, the water faucet is still there.
Yeah. 3 cedars up here, correct?
Yes. Yep. And another one down here on the floor, a little bit bigger hopper in this one.
Yeah.
It's kind of unique.
Yes, it is. Corn shellers.
Lots of corn shellers. Not every brand, but a pretty good representation.
Yeah. So that's a Planet Junior planter?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
That's very
And a Planet Junior cedar over here behind. Those are kind of rare.
Yes, they sure are. What is this?
This is a bean sorter.
Okay.
Navy beans. The ladies in the wintertime, when they got caught up on their chores, would go to the elevator and they would sort beans, take the splits out, take the stones out. And it's pedal operated just like a sewing machine.
Yeah.
Sort the beans out, put them in a bag and for sale then. Feed grinder there, that's a little bit different.
It sure
It's actually a burr mill, but it's pretty,
It's a beast.
yes. Yeah, beast is a good word for it. That's what I was
My goodness.
stumbling for.
Okay.
I-
Oh, it's a demonstrator.
I was just going to say that looks like a demonstrator for corn. Yeah,
Planter. Right, that's very cool.
it's got an electric motor on it.
That is,
Probably came from a salesman, or maybe, or
right, I'm guessing.
Fanning Mills.
And a vetch separator. And many size and cradles. People were tough back then, weren't they?
Yeah, that takes pretty good back and arms
Yes,
to
it
run that all day.
And then to keep it sharp.
Yeah. grain flails. And horse-drawn bean pullers, potato diggers, beet lifters. And some one-bottom plows. This would have been in an elevator a lot of times, feed sacks or barrels,
Oh, it would weigh
bags.
it too.
Yeah, the scale is actually right here.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
We've got 2 or 3 of them.
You really?
You need to get out in the elevator out there. And
I'll come back.
We have not figured out what that is.
Oh boy. You ever seen one of these work?
No, I have the new ones you can still buy that the ladies get. You can still buy a little one this big off the internet,
Huh.
and they sew socks. This one came out of a factory in Cass City.
These are so elegant to watch work.
Yeah,
Just amazing.
all the needles are in it. It's freed up, but we have not gotten anybody to actually make a sock. Although the gentleman that's working on the loom thinks he'll tackle that project next.
They couldn't have made that back then. There's no way they could have made that back then. Aliens must have come down to the earth and made that. It's so precise and so well tooled.
Yeah, we need somebody that will take it as a project.
Yeah.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.